Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Festa, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday night disclosures here, my friend. Yes, this is a historic day. Yes, UFO Disclosure has finally started. Heck yeah, my friends, we've been waiting this for so long, but before we get things rolling, let me go ahead and welcome in our audience. Who the heck do we have out there? Let's take a look and see. We got Anne-Marie in the chat along with April. I see Banana Booey Aussie just popped up. Chan 310 is out there along with Eliza Teal. Fairy Girl popped in along with Brains. Look at that. We got Firefly, Geraldine Durazio. The GSB Tee Whoopi is out there along with J Palm, J Cat Meow. John, good to see you, my friend. And John Doe, John Gelto. We got 3 Johns today. Justin is out there along with Kane and Kane Northrop. We got 2 Kanes, Mr. Drew and Mr. Catfish 2100. Good to see you, my friend. Europe. Necessary Dialogue is out there along with Nightshade Giggles. We got Rainstorm Hunter, Randy, Robert, John. Sam is in the chat along with Scooby Dooby Gooby. Would you look at that? We got Stargazer. Stephen Forbes is in the chat. Steve Mateo. Supercharged Land Cruiser. Teresa Loves Our President is in the chat. Good to see you, Teresa. The Coin 405 all the way from Sweden. We got the Demon, Wasteland Wanderer, Wendy Joe, When Weebs React, all the way from the from Australia. Yankees out there along with Yellow Timing Tanker, also known as Andy. How about that? Mike. How the hell are you?
I'm doing well. It's going to be another interesting Disclosure Day Part 2 for us.
Yeah. Well, last night was the day before Disclosure.
Right.
And tonight, Disclosure started. We actually called it right last night for once. We usually do.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got the disclosure we've been talking about for the longest time, presidential disclosure. We've been talking like this for 5 years now, Mike, saying the only one who's going to have the power and the ability to go ahead and bring out disclosure is going to be the man in the executive branch.
Yeah, from the top down. It has to come from the president.
Yeah.
You've said that from day one.
Absolutely. No, what we're missing from this tranche of documents really is anything from the DOE, because that's going to be the place where they're doing a lot of the deep research. Everyone says, it's out with the DOD, or the Department of War, it's out with the contractors. I'm going to say majority of the research we're doing is locked away in the Department of Energy because it's the most locked down, secretive organization within the United States government.
Yeah, it's the one you can't get into no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you can get in, but you can't get out.
Yeah, like a roach motel.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we rewind the clock to this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, for a lot of our friends, if you weren't with us earlier today, we went for 4.5 hours, I think?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, we did.
And we're back for more punishment, my friends. But wait, before we go too far, we did get a couple super chats. I thought somewhere I had a window up here. All that. Oh, boy, I'm already back to this losing stuff again. Mike, where did I put the window?
Yeah, good question, but I think we had 2 super chats that came in.
We did. I know we did. Unless did I push it someplace else or accidentally cover it? Let me get Social Stream up again. I know it was here before the show, and I know I took it and I threw it across. Well, Daryl just threw a chat out there. Thank you very much. Daryl is here. Actually, I can go ahead and do it from here. Let's get to, not that. I think I can go to fan funding. All right. Who threw out some chats already today? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's get this up on the board, Mike. You have to thank people who are supporting us. Try to do our best. So let's get to this. All right. Starting off in fan funding today. Firefly was the first one sending out a super chat saying Disclosure Tonight is the place to be. And then we had another one from Daryl is here. Cash is now meaningless and Disclosure Tonight is ever more meaningful. Hashtag national security. And our first Our first super chat tonight came from a thought form. Thanks for all that you and Mike bring to Disclosure Tonight, family. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate, and we're here because, well, that's a long story.
Yep, it is. But we're here for the people and for the public, so we appreciate their support. It's why we do this.
Oh gosh, yes. Absolutely. Now I've got the two boards up and I can see everything. All right. Started off today with this message coming from the Department of War. Let's get into it, folks. All right. So Department of War releases unidentified anomalous phenomena files in historic transparent effort. Let's put this full screen and go through it. All right. So today, the Department of War announced the initial release of new, never-before-seen files on unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, we like to call them UFOs here, still like the president does, as part of the presidential unsealing and reporting system for UAP encounters. I guess, Mike, we're not going to be dealing with ARO anymore, but we're going to be dealing with Pursue. This interagency effort includes the White House, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Energy, the Department of War's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. There we go, friends. Their name is being made. The NASA, of course, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and additional components of U.S. intelligence agencies. The collection will be housed not on aliens.gov, but on war.gov/UFO. And additional files will be released by the Department of War on a rolling basis. Screen I've got here. Come on. Nick, go ahead. Nick?
Expected to release on a weekly basis, so expecting a drop next week also.
Are they saying it's going to be a weekly basis? What we heard earlier today, it was going to be on a, the next tranche is expected to be coming in a month, and that was from Anna Polina Luna.
No, like Temperature basically said it was, and Jeremy Corbell basically said it was a weekly basis, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate that. Let's get back to this intro. So this release follows the direction of President Donald J. Trump to begin the process of identifying and declassifying government files related to UAP in the interest of transparency. No other president or administration in history has followed through on this level of UAP transparency. And that is very true, Mike. We've never gotten anything from any other president like this in the past, have we? No, Thomas.
No, say it again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
This is the first president in American history that we have that's actually gone and brought out the truth.
In 250 years, yes, he is the first one. Correct.
Yeah.
Going to make it into the history books.
And the first one since the Magenta crash happened in Italy, where that was brought to the United States in what, 38?
It crashed in Magenta, Italy in 1933.
33.
The Vatican got it. And in the end of World War II, in 1945, it was transferred to the United States and brought into this country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not bad. So,
Yes.
yeah, this is the first time that we have a sitting president who has released this information, which confirms a lot of what the government has been denying. For example, NASA said there is no evidence of anything anomalous to their knowledge.
Bullshit.
But this dump, proved that there is. So, yeah, this is it's starting to seep out.
Yeah.
Truth.
And Kirkpatrick is a confirmed liar at this point.
Oh, he is. Admiral Tim Gallaudet really took care of that with him. So did Joe Kozlowski.
Oh, yeah.
Who said
actually, it wasn't Kozlowski. That was Tim Phillips who actually came to the call on that one.
Was it Tim Phillips?
It was Tim Phillips, yes.
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
He's more of a company man in line with Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, well, he's the one who actually confirmed that he was the new interim director. Kirkpatrick was gone and not in the office, that he was so much getting to. But let's get beyond the details and back into the story, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. The American people can now access the federal government's declassified UAP files instantly. The latest UAP videos, photos, and original source documents from across the United States government are all in one place. No clearance required. There's not a lot there yet. You like 70, 80 documents is all we got so far, but there's apparently tens of millions of documents, according to what Lou Elizondo said earlier today in an interview with Cuomo, which we haven't found yet. We'll try and bring that as soon as we can find that. So while past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in the files. What does that mean? We're not getting any analysis. We're not getting any overview or ties to other cases or identifications of the craft or anything. Mike, they're just giving us raw data and raw files.
It. Right. But Representative Luna earlier today state that there's a lot more information that's going to be coming out, and they're going to reveal more with each of these document dumps that we're going to be getting?
Yeah, there's going to be a regular document dump that's going to be going on, and it sounded like on a regular, ongoing basis, and it sounds like the videos that she had been talking about, those 40 or 47 or so videos, are going to become available in about 30 days.
Right. So we know that we're going to be getting this every few weeks for an indefinite period of time.
Yeah.
Because it isn't going to be one or two document dumps that gives us everything the government has.
No.
This could take years to have it come out.
Well, Elizondo saying tens of millions of documents, Mike. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be disclosed.
Oh, hell yeah. And if we're only getting 80 documents for each dump, it's going to take even longer than that.
Yeah, true.
I know.
So, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said the Department of War is in lockstep with President Trump to bring unprecedented, unprecedented transparency regarding our government's understanding of unidentified anomalous phenomena. Oh, wow. These files, hidden behind classifications, have long fueled justified speculation, and it's time the American people see it for themselves. This is the release. This release of declassified documents demonstrates the Trump administration's earnest commitment to unprecedented transparency. Okay, folks, so you may not like Trump. There's a lot of people out there who don't like him. Almost close to 50% of the people out there.
Right. But this issue is not partisan. It's not left or right. It is bipartisan, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you land on. Everybody wants to know the truth about this subject and disclosure.
Well, looks like we got a super chat from Flavio Eduardo. He's coming down from Brazil. And he says over thousands of YouTube's channels are talking about the UFOs released today. But I really choose to be here with you, Thomas, and the Disclosure Tonight family. Great day. Thank you very much. Appreciate that super chat, my friend. Yeah. Wow. Great times all around. So next, getting into it, Mike, we have a message from the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's talked several times about wanting to go ahead and bring out the truth. Let's see what she has to say. The American people have long sought transparency about the government's knowledge of unidentified anomalous phenomena. Under President Trump's leadership, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence is actively coordinating the intelligence community's declassification efforts with the Department of War to ensure a careful, comprehensive, and unprecedented review of our holdings to provide the American people with maximum transparency. Today's release is the first in what will be an ongoing joint declassification and release effort. Coming to us from the FBI, Kash Patel, who we actually reported on last night, was saying, he delivered, 14,000 documents, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah.
He did. And I can tell you that a lot of these documents that came out are also on the FBI Vault website, but the ones on the FBI Vault website are redacted, and the ones that we're seeing today are not.
Right.
So that's a difference right there.
There's a big difference, my friend. Yes, absolutely. And off there so I can see what's going on. So FBI Director, actually, Daryl, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it too early to start asking whether or not they're going to give us images of things they actually have?
Oh, like crash stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, all these blurry videos are great and everything, but I mean, what about the stuff that they have?
I would say
Anyway,
probably.
I don't want to be that guy, you know. I'll take what I can get, but I sure would like to see the up close and personal stuff.
Oh, I think we all would, my friend.
All we're hearing are about documents being released. What about actual stuff?
We got videos.
Things. No, I mean like hardware, like somebody rolls out the spacecraft from 1923 or whatever it is.
Oh, God, yeah. To be determined at a later date.
Yeah.
Thomas, didn't Tim Burchett, just to add to what Daryl was talking about, say that the next one's going to be a holy cow or a holy crap moment or something like that?
Yeah, he wants to bring out the stuff that he has been seeing in the skiff in the last week or so, the kind of stuff that makes you not being able to sleep at night, kind of stuff that makes you say, holy shit. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I'm still pretty satisfied what they released today. But
Yeah,
I'll get to that in the show.
I completely agree. This is a great day. It's historic.
Yeah. Andy, your hand is up as well.
Yeah, hi Thomas, everybody. I just want to say what a great show earlier on. Helped me through my work I was doing. But yeah, I know Daryl wants everything handed on a platter right this minute. But we have to take this that this is not for us. This is for the Joe public who aren't invested in this subject. I look at it as a soft disclosure. We're not going to have the stuff that really blows people's minds till later on. Hopefully we'll get it later on.
Right.
After several document dumps. They're doing a gentle ease of the general public into the fact. Now, I was on my way home from work a minute ago. It hit 2:00 in the morning. We had on our local radio station, the local news, and even they had it on there. Well, it's not local, it's a countrywide thing, but even they brought up that your government has released all of these documents.
But I'm sure they were also talking about Labor losing horribly in the elections and Starmer still refusing to step down.
It's been a great day for me here in the UK. I can tell you that. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't care whether we've got any of the losing team in here on. It's a good day for most of the UK, and this I think is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I know some of the comments I read while I was working, and people were banding about in here. I take this with it was a big win. This was.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a big win. And you're right, but I want mine on a gold platter, just to keep in step with the president. But here's my thought, I guess, on all this. Like I always downplay great things because I don't want to. I don't know. I just do that. But if they have hardware and they come out with the hardware later, isn't the question to be asked? Why didn't you lead with the hardware? Like, why didn't you just...
Daryl, you got to start slow. You got to start with the small drips to things that aren't that shocking. Get people used about talking about it and ramp it up over time. That'd be my guess.
And then there's the national security implication of who might try to immediately reverse engineer that because you bought that toy out that for the last 80 years you said didn't exist.
Right, but everyone out there is saying that potentially our adversaries already have the same stuff we've recovered, and they may be farther along in the reverse engineering efforts that we are. But don't forget, they're not going to bring anything out. They're not going to bring out anything that they've reverse engineered for military. They're not going to tell us about that, or for energy, or for anything else they considered a national security risk. As Lou Elizondo has been saying for a while, the only thing we're going to get is an acknowledgement, and I think we're a little bit beyond that, so we'll see where it goes. Just fingers crossed.
I mean, like, this was like Thomas is saying, Daryl, this is baby steps, and there's levels to this shit. This is level one.
Yeah.
This is the best that we could expect for level one.
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get, but I will be asking that question, why didn't you lead with it?
Yeah. All right, let's get back here to FBI Director Kash Patel. The FBI is proud to stand along Trump and our interagency partners in this landmark release of UAP records. For the first time in history, the American people have unfettered access to declassified government files on UAP, a level of transparency that no prior administration has ever delivered. The FBI remains committed to supporting this ruling declassification effort with the same rigor and integrity we bring to every national security matter. As these files continue to be reviewed and released, the American people can be confident that their national security remains our highest priority. Remember, national security is your cue, folks.
No, again.
Be a long night again. All right. Before we get on to NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman, I just want to bring out one thing. I'm going to get to Laura in a second. Half the country is celebrating. The other half of the country is saying, hey, look, he's distracting us from Epstein. Or
you knew that was going to happen.
Oh, of course. Then we say with gas prices skyrocketing, health care costs exploding, a very unpopular war catering and inflation spiking, Americans would rather blindly focus on some UFO or UAP space aliens invasion hocus pocus files that are not nearly redacted or destroyed, like ever mysterious. Oh my gosh.
If everything was as bad as that guy said, the stock market would have crashed.
Yeah,
this
it would
has
have.
been a great couple weeks for me. I just have to say that.
Yeah, true.
And for most people, if you have a 401k.
It did not crash. That's a fact. Laura, your hand is up, my dear lady.
Yeah, I'm wearing my NASA t-shirt just to, just to represent the bad guys. I don't know how many of you guys recognize the fact that some of these images have been shown before. One in particular came, Jeremy Corbell released some.
Yeah.
This one in particular.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, gee whiz, I remote viewed that a long, long time ago. And it's not redacted. This one look a little familiar.
Yeah.
Jeremy Corbell on the bottom.
Yeah,
there.
but Jeremy Corbell, if you look at his, it's completely unredacted versus the one we got today. It's completely redacted.
Right.
I was just going to point that out.
Right. And just so you know, for what it's worth, we got that it was a manned craft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting, to say the least.
Secret space, perhaps?
Does that say it was what speed that manned craft was going at?
No. They haven't given us any details on that, Daryl.
Just location.
Oh.
All right. One out of here. Getting into the next, coming from NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. I applaud the President Trump's whole of government effort to bring greater transparency to the American people on UAP at NASA. Our job is to bring the brightest minds and most advanced scientific instruments to bear, following the data, and share what we learned. We will remain candid about what we know to be true and what we have yet to understand, and that remains to be discovered. Exploration in the pursuit of knowledge are core to NASA's missions as we endeavor to unlock the secrets of the universe. Now, don't forget, NASA has kept on saying what? They don't have any information, they don't have any knowledge or anything, right, guys?
Yeah, nothing. They said they have no information to support any type of disclosure of anomalous objects.
Yeah,
they're in bed with the Air Force in that regard.
Right. That's exactly right. But now we got documents that came out that proved them to be wrong about that. They knew damn well what was going on in the Apollo missions.
Oh yeah.
So they got caught, just like Kirkpatrick got caught. This is what's coming out now. Good. About time.
Right. All right. It did it. It played along. All right. Speaking of NASA, we have here some pictures that are coming from NASA of some things that they didn't see, or actually they saw on the moon. How about that? For all the times they said there were no photographs, Mike, and there were people who actually worked in departments where they were airbrushing things out of the picture. Well, would you look at that? The first object we have up, I don't know, that looks like almost a spine or something, but it's a whole bunch of blue orbs or something all lined up on the horizon. Don't forget, we've also had other sightings of people from Earth who have seen blue objects and blue lights on the moon. And everyone said, oh, no, it's just, electromagnetics or something in space to a degree. They don't know exactly what it is, Mike.
Yeah, that's true. They denied it tooth and nail. But now we have these documents showing that they knew damn well that something was going on.
I think the significance of that is that NASA admits that they don't know what that is. You would think NASA, who studies everything that could be flying by the moon or impacting the moon, would have a suggestion as to what that might be. So the significance to me is that's pretty crazy that they don't know what it is.
Oh, I believe this one is from Apollo 12. We've got 5 images from Apollo 12 and one from Apollo 17. So let's move on to the next one. Here we go. This one is also from Apollo 12, another shot on the moon's surface. Let's shut us down here. We take it to here. Oh, actually move this a little bit higher up so you can see. Yeah, we've got the moon's surface there, my friends. And we've got two objects. Again, two blue objects, orbs or whatever you want to call them, over there. And off to the left, we've got two more objects that show up at this point. So amazing how these pictures can all of a sudden, Mike, start having objects that weren't magically there in the past.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And we know how NASA likes to airbrush out a lot of their video footage.
Yeah, they do.
Uh-huh.
And apparently photographic images as well. Here we have another shot from Apollo 12. This one's interesting. It's a little dot off on the horizon, but if you go ahead and take a zoom into it and take a look at it and what's really there, you've got an object that's red, white, blue, and green.
Right.
In orbit around the moon near the astronauts. Move on. We've got another one out in the sky up over the horizon. What does this one look like? Let's zoom in and take a look. This one just shows up as a couple dots on the horizon, but if we go ahead and take a look close-up of it, that doesn't look like, well, that looks like 3 spheres of something. We've got some red over here, some blue over here, maybe some green over there, but that is really, if you want to call it,
like a tesseract configuration.
It's structured. Here comes our next one. I believe this one is also Apollo 12. The sky's really busy in this one. In Area 1, we got something that looks like one of the Minions.
Yep.
Actually, in Area 5 over here on the horizon. And we've got another one where we have 2 more of those blue objects floating around in the sky. We've got another one up here. We actually have 2 objects. But then at the bottom, there is that long object again, except without much detail. So they're capturing these things, Mike, across multiple images.
They are. And as we found out shortly after it came out, they're down-resing all of these photos.
Yep, they definitely are. And then here we've got the meanie. We've gone through him. Actually, this is a different one up there. Here we go. Another one. Odd shapes. You got to wonder, is this one of the reasons why we stopped going to the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Were we told not to go there anymore?
Agree. There's something going on. Is that why we lost funding recently?
So there we go. And then this one is from Apollo 17. And, isn't Apollo 17 the last mission we had to the moon?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Take a zoom in, off on the distance, and there you go. 1, 2, 3 more objects. But the one thing I have to say, Mike, is in here, if you look at the rest of the image and what's going on, I guess if you get really zoomed in, you can see the JPEG compression and everything going on, but these weren't taken on digital cameras.
Oh, no, they weren't.
They were scanned in, so they could rescan them in at a higher resolution with less compression, and you're not going to have all this JPEG compression artifacts hiding what we're actually looking at.
Right, because it's analog film that they're using.
That's right.
Uh-huh. So they have, I'm sure, much better images than what we're getting.
Think?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. We definitely know. So it's interesting times, to say the least. Let me see what I've got going in here out of this article. Get back to my bookmarks. All right, so here we've got some audio coming from the 1965 Gemini mission. Interesting enough what goes on in this. Yes, they're going to be talking about multiple bogeys, I believe 3, Mike, and a field of objects that are reflective 2 to 3 miles away in a polar orbit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's play this. Here we go.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7?
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7?
So we have several, looks like the 3 up there, actual sighting. It looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to pull.
So they look like a box with a handle that's disintegrated.
Right.
And these are the ones that are 3 to 4 miles away. But in addition to those 3 to 4 miles away, they actually have 3 objects right by their craft.
Yeah, and it's not a booster. Obviously,
No.
that was confirmed.
Let's play the rest of this. Here we go, a couple seconds, and we'll get to Andy.
The booster on my side is a brilliant body of the sun, just a black background, and with billions of particles around it.
There you go, Mike. Andy, your thoughts. You have a question?
Yeah, what struck me, and I did put it in chat earlier on when you had your earlier show. They're saying small particles, but then they say these things are visible at 3 to 4 miles away.
Right.
Now, that's a bit of a contradiction in terms there. If they're small at that distance, you wouldn't see them. And if they're visible at that distance...
And they were talking about the different things, saying they had angular edges and that they were slowly rotating, but it's not like they were in lockstep, all rotating at the same time.
And the fact that they seem to have been in orbit around the polar region of the moon as well, very strange.
Was it the polar region of the moon or the polar region of the Earth? Because
the polar region of the Earth, because Gemini didn't go to the moon, right?
Well, okay, so then if that was the polar region of the Earth, then they said they saw the booster at their, I think it was their... It
was on the on the left side of the craft. Yeah, they saw it.
Things were so it would be on the left side of the craft if it was there 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
The booster by then is obviously jettisoned and is falling away from a craft. So that's not going upwards. They're going, they're being projected upwards. They've got rid of the booster, which is then falling back to Earth. So
it was at the 3 o'clock position, they said, not 10 o'clock, which is starboard, 90 degrees starboard of their craft, the Gemini craft.
Either way, there was hundreds of them up there. Then they have no idea what the hell they were. Plus, we had 3 bogies around the actual capsule.
What I liked was the radio chatter, because Mission Control was saying, is this the booster or is it an actual sighting? Meaning they already have in play that they are seeing objects in orbit and they're being able to report it as an actual sighting.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Yeah, that's very, very important, especially from back then.
On Sarnet.
And what does a polar orbit mean? Does that mean it's like you've got the Earth here and this is the polar part and that's rotating around the top of the Earth or the bottom of the Earth?
What it means is that you could either orbit the equator of the Earth, or you could orbit the opposite direction from top to bottom around the Earth, which is a polar orbit.
What it sounds like to me, from pole to pole.
Did you want to hear the full 6-minute video you were saying, Mike, or are we good with it?
No, I just said that the fact that they have code about actual sightings or boosters tells me they're aware that when they go up in low Earth orbit, they're seeing craft.
Right. And it comes into the point, too, when they're talking about this and we hear astronauts talking about a bogey. It's literally a bogey. Now, an additional thing about NASA, if we can find this, we'll play it as soon as we can. There was an interview earlier this evening with Lou Elizondo and Ross Coulthart on the Cuomo Show. And Lou Elizondo said he can't wait for the future releases to come out from NASA, because when he was at Space Force working with David Grush at the time, they actually uncovered a bunch of different files from NASA, from the space shuttle days and from the ISS space station days, which is more frequent, of different UAP that were coming in adjacent to the crafts. Now, this goes in complete opposite of what we heard from other astronauts, like Mark Kelly's brother, who was up on the space station, for almost a year, and he said, I never saw anything.
Yeah, there was nothing up there the entire time.
Uh-huh.
Well, we know now that's a lie.
And then some.
Oh, yeah.
And then some, my friends. Oh, God. Let's get on. Let's see what else you've got going here. Okay, here it is, Mike. These were the other pictures that came from NASA. So this is a newly leaked high-resolution UFO photos from NASA's Apollo 12, which correlated with today's UFO file release from the White House. These new images were emailed to a UFO researchers just a a C4T, anonymously by a NASA employee, and correlate exactly today's Pentagon drops. Interesting times, Mike. Here's the first one. Those things are a lot smaller. Look how small they are.
Mhm.
And then here's the next one.
Yeah, it's blue.
Yeah. And here's the example of it off in the distance. So they do have higher resolution copies of those images.
They do, but they didn't release them.
Well, isn't NASA never a straight answer?
And not a space agency.
Not a space
yes.
agency? Never, yeah, exactly. Never a space straight answer, yeah. But again, well, they are an intelligence agency. Now, back then, they were supposedly weren't. So has NASA been covering this stuff up for years? Yes, they have 100%.
Oh, absolutely. And now the truth is starting to creep out.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. All right, folks, if you're stopping by Disclosure tonight, you're new, you haven't signed up or you haven't subscribed, please do it. We're absolutely free. We'd love to have a subscriber. Mike, we finally hit like 17,800 subs. We're only 200 away now from getting to 18,000 subs. Only viewers like you can help us get there. Everyone else is already subscribed. And by the way, folks, if you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, we'd greatly appreciate it. No, that's not a comet tail. We wish it would be. All right, let's get past this particular post here and see what else I've got in my list of stuff. Okay, I know this isn't video, this isn't space, this isn't UFOs, but if you're a gamer and you like tech, they've announced the Xbox Helix X today. This is going to be coming out, I believe, next year. 4K, 120 frames a second, 8K at 60 frames a second, ray tracing, Avantgarde or something like that. 32 gigabytes of GDDR7, holy cow, and a 2 terabyte NVMe. It's going to be having a price of around, I believe they're saying, there we go, $850 to $1,000, giving the performance of a $2,000 to $3,000 PC. And it will play stuff from Epic Games and Steam and GOG. How about that? Now back to Disclosure. All right, in our first clip, Mike, we've got, this is a new one that we haven't played earlier, coming from News Nation. We've got both Ryan Graves from Americans for Safe Aerospace, and also coming from Tim Gallaudet, going ahead and talking about the first batch of UFO files and those NASA things we're just talking about. Let me get to here so it's a little bit bigger. Bring it up. Here we go, folks.
Admiral, we have to ask you about this Apollo transcript, also really interesting. In 1969 debriefing of Apollo 11 crew members, the astronaut Buzz Aldrin actually recalled spotting several unusual sights, including what he called a sizable object close to the moon and a fairly bright light source that the crew felt could be a laser. Another file is a NASA photograph from the Apollo 17 mission. That one was from 1972, showed 3 dots in a triangular formation. What's your take on those?
Well, interestingly, Brian, and thanks for having me too, the NASA videos and information, images and information that were released are actually old. They've been released previously. I think the more important story is a lot of the videos and data that you see that were just released, and it's really significant in terms of a historic first that the executive branch of the government has finally acknowledged that there are UAP in our airspace and water space that we don't understand, can't characterize, and need to research. I'm on Ryan's advisory board for Americans for Safe Aerospace for this whole purpose, is to remove the stigma of UFO and actually get aviators and citizens to start reporting this more so we can do active research into this and understand their nature, the intelligent control behind them, which we have no idea about, and just understand their intent as well.
Most of what we... Yeah, you make a good point. Just the fact that the government is now actually admitting that they don't know what these things are is something that we didn't see for decades.
We haven't seen for decades. No, this isn't the full length of what was said earlier today. We've got a condensed clip coming from News Nation of that interview we're talking about, Mike. This is probably in Chrome. We're not going to be able to see it. So let me get to this one, bring it up. in Brave, so everyone in the show can watch it. Let me get this one across. This one just hit. Come on, you can get there. All right. So let's get to Cuomo talking with Ross Coulthart and Lou Elizondo. Here we go, folks.
I believe most of what we got today is just noise because it's what we already knew and heard. It's just being called something new. Maximum transparency. So let's bring in two men whom I turn to in the fight for transparency when it comes to what the government knows about UFOs. Pentagon UFO whistleblower Mr. Lou Elizondo and News Nation investigative journalist Ross Coulthart. And I am fine for you guys to say, no, Chris, you're wrong. This is great. I'm too cynical about it. I want too much. I'm fine with that. I respect your opinion more than my own. Ross, I start with you. You know, what you did with Grush, that moved the needle. It created energy that either you want to ruin this guy Grush's reputation and his sterling pedigree and say that he's psycho, or you guys aren't telling us things, and you really moved the needle with him, Ross. I feel like it wasn't paid off today, though.
I completely agree with you, Chris. I must confess I was underwhelmed by today's supposed maximum transparency. I don't think it is maximum transparency. I'm talking to people inside the UAP alien craft retrieval and reverse engineering program who are deeply frustrated that the Pentagon is in charge of this release. They don't think that's appropriate. They also think that the Congress is having the wool pulled over its eyes and it's far too compliant with the national security state dictating what can and can't be released. I do think what's positive and what's optimistic is that there is, I'm assured from within the administration, a determination to be transparent as much as possible. And I'm told that in coming weeks, we are going to see more. But frankly, today's was a bit underwhelming. We still, for example, haven't seen any of the 46 videos that Representative Anna Paulina Luna with the UAP caucus is demanding be provided to Congress.
So, Lou, what's your read on this? What is the psychology of this disclosure? What do you think this means about what their intentions are?
Well, Chris, I tend to be slightly more optimistic. I look at this from the perspective of history. Historically speaking, there's been other presidents in the past that say they are going to go ahead and be transparent with this topic, and they haven't been able to. So whether they didn't want to or they didn't succeed, this president, whether you like him or not, is starting to fulfill that promise. Now, with that said, I think it is rather underwhelming for a lot of folks who've seen, like myself, who've seen the videos, the high definition, ultra, 8K high definition videos that do exist. Obviously, the grainy black and white can be a bit underwhelming.
Mike, is this the first time we've heard Lou or anyone mention 8K videos?
Yes. I haven't heard that before.
No, I don't think anybody has. Interesting. I just wanted to point that out for the audience.
But I will tell you, though, I think it's a bit, you're asking me, why is the administration being kind of like a little bit slow with this? And I think it's a bit of a test balloon. I think they're dipping the toe in the water to see the reaction before they decide to take the high dive and cannonball into the deep end, which I'm told is going to actually happen. There's already been members of Congress whom I trust who've been told by administration officials that day is going to come. And also, we talk about the moon picture, which you pointed out. I think you're absolutely correct. When you look at that from the Apollo 12 mission, that was in the late 60s, early 70s, and we did not have satellites at the time orbiting the moon. And if you look at that statement, it said specifically, NASA said, hey, look, these might be real objects, right? These might be real objects. So we didn't have AI back then. We didn't have deep fakes back then. These are real photos taken from the surface of the moon. After NASA had spent decades saying nothing to see here, folks, oh, you know what? Turns out there's actually quite a bit to see. And our astronauts are seeing it. So I do think it was telling. No, it's not the grand reveal that I hope would happen immediately, but I think it's going to take a little time. I think this is an excellent step in excellent first step in the right direction. And I am cautiously optimistic that, keep in mind, tens of millions of documents, right, Chris? Tens of millions. Mm-hmm. A lot of these are hard copy.
Mike, tens of millions of documents.
Well, listen, over 80 plus years that they've been keeping this a secret, It's got to be tens of millions. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. Tens of millions.
But if they
he's
keep
mentioned
dropping
HD
80
video
at a
before,
time,
but he's never mentioned an
it's
8K video.
It'll take
before.
100 years to get to it.
God, think of all the content to cover.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
Holy shit!
What
All
happens
right.
if like Russia starts getting like they want to compete now and they start disclosing stuff?
Good.
That would be
Please
interesting.
bring out more.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole point of this.
A fishing expedition, huh?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Could be.
You know, there were a lot of people were saying if the United States doesn't move forward, it sets this up for China to come in and take the lead.
And flip the coin right now. Flip the coin. If China and Russia don't step up to the ballgame, then that means the United States is the global leader. Point blank. That's the end of the argument. We're the big dog.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a couple seconds left here. Just play this really quick.
That's a lot of time to go through to get all the information.
Okay, they chop the end of this, but yeah, tens of millions of documents, friends. Oh, wow. That just blows my mind. Tell you the truth. All right, let's get out of this one. I know I just took this one and I threw it into...
I believe most of what we got today is just noise because it's what we already knew.
Come on, Google, let me... Not Google, X. Take you out of here. I'm gonna bookmark it. Not letting me fucking bookmark it. God damn it. Oh, it's not playing along. Well, Mike, we've got another story coming from Jesse Waters. This one just popped up on the feed. No one's seen this one yet. Well, it looks like we got Michio Kaku saying that UFO files just changed everything. This is a turning point, decades of cover-ups collapsing. And of course, Sean Kirkpatrick is now a verified liar. So let's go ahead and play this next clip that I did not even know. I did not know that it existed. Go.
Physicist. Doctor, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about this UFO release?
I would put it at a 10 because we're at a turning point. For decades, we had to rely upon eyewitness accounts of housewives, truck drivers. People would snicker and laugh at them. Now we're talking about huge files that are top secret that for the first time in modern history are being given to the American public. So I'd like to congratulate President Trump for having the nerve to go against recommendations by the FBI and the CIA to release these files so that independent researchers, scientists can go over them and we can make up our own minds rather than having the CIA make up our minds.
And the CIA...
Hold on one thing, Mike. I think he's wrong on this one because we've heard from many people in the, out there that the CIA has actually refused to give Luna and this interagency operation any data. Their answer was easy. Go talk to Aro.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to give anything.
That seems bizarre because isn't Ratcliffe the CIA guy now?
Bingo.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it shows the CIA is probably run by all those people out there known as the unelected bureaucrats who actually run the organizations, and they would view Ratcliffe as their temporary employee / leader, and they don't need to listen to him.
And Nick actually brought that to our attention earlier, and it was like breaking news earlier. David Grush mentioned CIA was involved in blocking.
Yeah, but that was brought out about the CIA blocking stuff out. 2 days ago. I think that was Luna or somebody else saying about Luna being shut down or not being able to get to the data. But it's great to see Grush go ahead and also verify that.
It's crazy that we're seeing it today. You know, after this release.
Yeah, that's true. So let's listen to the rest of this. Here we go.
Apparently is still fighting the full release. When you hear or see about a UFO that goes like that, up, down, left, right, at 90-degree angles so fast you can't even believe it, what does that tell you?
It tells me that the laws of centrifugal force should crush the bones of the people inside the flying saucer. So either there's basically an automated flying saucer, so there are no bones to crack.
Schmuck. No, it's a gravitational warp field. The forces on the outside of the warp field prevent the inside of the warp field and the craft it contains from feeling any of the effects of gravity. Right, Mike? He doesn't know.
That's right. No, he doesn't know, and he should. He's a theoretical
As the thing goes
physicist.
Apparently, who doesn't do his research.
The flying saucer. So there are no bones to crack as the thing goes zigzagging left and right, or it represents a very high level of intelligence to create something like that.
National
So in other words, we humans cannot get into a spaceship that goes zigzagging like that.
Yeah,
Only
we could.
aliens can, but even their bones would break. So it must be a very high level of automated computer technology.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah. I think of, he reminds me of, was it on the Munsters? The grandpa. Grandpa.
No, Grandpa Munster, no. But yeah, I could see it maybe. Oh boy, oh boy.
In that clip though, you did that, I don't know if anybody knows that, but that was the first time I guess I've taken a good look at it from what they're playing. That the smoke, the trail, whatever, is actually behind the star.
Yeah.
It's not in front.
Want to go to that
So
one? I've got that one
that
here
would
somewhere.
mean people coming, that would mean it would be coming towards you, I guess.
We don't. Okay,
That's-
so I think I've got that one here. We've got a bunch of videos. We got this one. We got this one. We got that one. I'm trying to find the one you're talking about. Yeah, but we got other ones besides that are just even cooler. Let's start with the most coolest video that came at the end of the file. Let's get to this one first. I know we've got more news, but I'm sure the audience would love to see some video files. Am I right?
Oh, it's about time. Yeah.
About time? Yeah. Well, it's easy to play videos, Mike. You know that one.
I know.
All right, so we've got an oil platform here, and we're going to see something coming in and zooming around and moving in ways that human crafts can't do. It's like moving around like a freaking pinball and pinball field, right? I think you could call this one. So let's go ahead and jump down in this one and play this. And of course, there's no audio. All right, we've got it played. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, is that it? Going to go and find it. They're recalibrating their camera. Every time that goes on, you see it go ahead and flash. That's them just trying to focus in on something. And there it comes. There it goes. Oh, hold on. You see that? I want it started coming in, folks. Yes, there it is. Starting up here, it's going to go down here and start zigzagging around. There it goes. First one, straight down, angular. Shoots all the way down to here. It'll come back in a second. Going back up. There we go. Zigzagging.
Towards the end of your analysis, can we do a real or not real poll?
Oh, I'd say all these things are real, my friend. They've already been. All of these videos have already been verified to be not prosaic objects. But I'll be happy to ask the audience what they think. Yeah.
This reminds me of Fravors' explanation of seeing it like a ping pong bouncing around.
Yeah. They're slowing down, coming to a stop. But I think we can see, if you watch the background going on here, there's some kind of movement going down in this direction. So they've got to be chasing this thing or something going on. Maybe not. It's just hard to tell just because it's so fucking compressed.
And there's so much information that's redacted from that screen. It's crazy.
Right now they've zoomed in. Come to a stop. Trying to figure out. It's going to start pinging around again, folks.
That's like an F-16 heads-up display or something, isn't it? Or F-18.
It could be.
The altitude's on the right. And all the others. Yeah.
Could be a drone.
They would know.
We don't have a location. We don't know the distance. We don't have a scale. We don't know what this is. It could be the size of a pill bottle or the size of a bus. We don't know.
It could be a lot of things. It could be a drone, though. It could be
or somewhere in between.
Whatever.
Yeah, but they've already.
Right
but
there.
all these videos have already been, if you want to call it, analyzed and said they're non-prosaic. So we could say it's a drone and everything, but that's the only thing that we know and understand of what the government actually did to verify these data. So it could be a drone, but probably not. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here.
Oh, I was referring to the platform. taking the video.
So, all right, let's go to the audience. First one, quick poll. Start a poll.
Real or not real?
UAP, not a UAP. We're talking a UAP being something like from a non-human intelligence, not a unidentified human object that's out there. All right, so there we go. There you go, audience. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please.
Got it. That's a good argument for a look. General population of your audience is not overreacting or scared. There's no ontological shock or collapse.
There is none.
So release more information, right? There's a good test bed right there. Everybody's saying that's a UAP. We understand it. So give us more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 90% of the audience so far is saying it's a UAP, which is 38 seconds left to go. We got 62 votes in. Unlike a lot of the channels out there, we like to do rapid polls to see what our audience thinks it is or it isn't. And with 27 seconds left, I don't think there's any way for us to hit this as being not a UAP.
It's UFO.
Yeah. 15 seconds left. We're at 90%, 10%. I'm going to go ahead and call this early because there's no way to get past. I'll let it go. 6 seconds left. Let's see how many votes we get. 93 votes in. 89% of our audience is saying it's a UAP. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot. 90%, 10% for posterity. Thank you, audience. Would let me end.
Neil deGrasse Tyson out of a job. Eat your heart.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to know is what does Neil have to say about all this?
Just throw those fuckers in jail. Put them in jail. Come on.
All right.
Drain the swamp.
So that's our first video we've got. And we've got a bunch. Oh, we got Tim Burchett in a 25-second clip. See what he's going to say from Hannity. I wish it was longer, but let's see what Tim is saying. We got this video. We can bring it out next.
I want to warn people, though, this early stuff that we're seeing is not all of it. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. But Trump's having to fight, he's having to fight the deep state. And it's just, and the next files will be tougher to get, but I suspect he'll get them because he is Trump. He knows how to work this thing. And until that day comes, though, there's still going to be more and more, and there's going to be more questions. I want to warn.
So, Mike, is this the tip of the iceberg or the tip of the spear?
I think it's the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
If they continue for these dumps and we get more and more information with each one, it'll progress. Because you remember what Lou said, tens of millions. So there's a lot to go through, Thomas.
That is just a crazy number. I had no idea, honestly. Tens of millions of documents, right?
80 plus years, if not more. Not really that shocking or surprising.
Oh, I know. I love it. We just saw that one. What is this? This one, I think, is like the duck. Oh, come on. Don't shrink down. Be nice. Okay, so this one we've got... Is this it? This is not the one that looks like a duck. This is just a little... Yeah, some of these are just little dots kind of flying around. Why can't I zoom in? Oh, I'm not, because it's a preview. That's why. Okay, that answers. Get into here. Let's get the object. They're chasing it. Some of these, let me hide everybody so you can see this. Here we go. Trying to put the mouse cursor by it so you can see what's going on. And it just is one of those, again, doing some angular movements, different stuff happening. This goes on for a whopping 1:35. We are 40 seconds into it. This is one of the basic videos, but there's a bunch of videos out there. This one is not that incredible. That's incredible. Remember that TV show, Mike? With Skip?
I do, yeah.
Was Skip Williams or Skip something?
Yeah. It's an old show.
Oh, yeah. Andy?
Yeah, you say not that incredible, but it's showing the rapid turning and change of direction, which is, if it's not one of our craft, I don't know of many planes that can do that kind of maneuvers. Yeah, your DJI drones and things can possibly do something like that, but that's pretty incredible.
It's probably moving at an incredible speed that goes well beyond what a DJI drone is capable of. And we wouldn't be looking at this if analysts didn't go ahead and look at it and say, yeah, that's not one of ours. It's not one of our opponents. It's something. No, we've got another video right along those lines of another dot that's flying around, but this one is a bit more acrobatic in how it's going. Let's go ahead and play this one and see where it goes. There we go. So this little bugger, bottom left corner of the screen. Sorry, chat, I have to hide you now because you are blocking. It's coming down right over here. Come on, move this. It's coming down right over here, and it's going to jump up, and it's going to zoom across. Now, when you see the object go ahead and it's skipping from location to location, that's because it's moving at a speed that goes well beyond the frame rate capabilities of the camera for what they're currently recording. So here we go. There it goes. Zooms off to the side. Does a boomerang back. Shooting over here. Going up. Going that way, zigzagging back and forth. Wow, look at this guy. Let that go. Up here. Top. Going back down again. Off to the side. And what I've noticed here is again, the texture we've got going in the background is moving in a consistent manner, which means the camera's not going everywhere. It's remaining locked, and this thing is just zipping around everywhere. Chat back on for a second. I think that's safe. Oh, cross. Something must have popped up, maybe for locking it in, but they're redacting that. How nice of them, Department of War, to do that. Coming straight down, going back up again. Hanging out in the locked in zone. There we go. It's going to lock in. Okay, you've locked in. Shoot your missiles, please. No, I didn't.
For a poll, real, not real.
Yeah. This one's going to be going on for a bit. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Start a poll.
I just looked up what Fravor said about this. He did call it a ping pong thing. He described these actions perfectly. Bouncing around, moving around, left, right, up, down, and then hovering over the ocean.
Yeah. Here we go. In our first survey, and our next survey coming up, is it a UAP or is it prosaic? I'm not covering up the UFO. They still have the fucker locked. It's locked in completely, and it's not even pushing back. Audience this time is 86% currently saying it's a UAP. 14% coming back and saying it's prosaic. How about that? At the end of this, it seems like it's given up and said, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hang out here for a while. They're going ahead and trying to bring an additional resolution, whatever the fuck they're doing there. This one is another one. 88% of our audience is saying it is a UAP. 14% of our audience, 13% now, is saying we are dealing with something definitely prosaic. And the video is, okay, Google, set a timer for 30 seconds. I'll give it 30 more seconds, folks.
Starting.
So it looks like at the end of the video here, they've lost it. Interesting. They couldn't keep it on. I didn't even get to see when it actually shot off. Where did it shoot off? It was right there. And then it's gone. Gotta wonder, did it go under the ocean? Did it go under the water?
Like these polls are revealing like the audience wants more information than
Well,
they need, and there's no catastrophic anything, and we need more. The government
our
needs to feed
audience
us more
has
information
spoken
and
one more
educate.
time. 88% of our audience at this point is saying it's prosaic. I mean, a UAP. 12% saying it's prosaic. Go ahead and end the poll, and there we go. So far, what we're seeing, our audience is digging it, as I am. So let's go ahead. We saw that one. We just saw that one. Okay, our next one's going to come in. Oh, this is the one where they're going around the oil tankers, I believe. Is it? We're going to zoom in on it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we got an oil tanker here, and there's going to be some UAP hanging around the oil tanker. We don't know exactly where it is. This is probably somewhere in the Middle East, near the Strait of Hormuz or the Gulf of Oman. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Gulf of Oman.
For those For those arguing, like, where's the high quality video? For a military camera, this is high quality.
Yeah.
You're getting really good quality.
That's true. Yes, videos of flying lights isn't proof, but it's a start.
I want to ask Corporal Abe to clarify that, because we saw a MiG pee all over a drone in very high definition video. So I'm curious, why would you say this is high definition? I mean, what's the difference?
Let's play the video. There's varying levels of quality, right? And like, can you make out what you're looking at, right? Can you make out like the known objects that you're looking at? As this video plays, I feel like it zooms in and you can definitely tell right here, like that's a fucking get movie theater. I've seen better quality than this, right? But this is pretty good. And are we going to be able to see something here that's anomalous? This is great for the military.
Right. And here's the object starting up at this point. It's not too far from where that ship was at. This one's pretty mellow so far. Just kind of floating around and hanging out. There it goes. Starting to pick up speed, moving along a bit, pinging back and forth, up and down like the other behaviors we've been seeing. Now it looks like they're trying to zoom in. The object is down over here. And what we're seeing in the center of this is just an effect of the actual sensor itself, or whatever it is. There we go again. They've recentered again, refocused, trying to bring it in. Yeah, we all want to see 4K videos. We all want to see HD stuff. But again, the whole intent of this is to go ahead and get our eyes and ears, if you want to call it, introduced to what's being seen and what's out there. So when we start getting the really whole shit videos, it's not going to cause that thing that everyone has been freaking worried about called ontological shock.
I hear everybody comparing it to like a Galaxy. Your phone has produced better quality, but this is like military equipment, which
this is military equipment. Also seeing stuff in infrared,
different environments. Yeah. It's not really meant to broadcast like your phone is. It's meant to give certain types of data and information. So that's why it's intentionally in this black and white, black hot mode that you're seeing.
And here's the thing: like if we actually had the user interface showing on this stuff, it would actually say whether it's white hot or black hot, but it's all redacted from us.
So much data right now. I'd rather it be in this mode and get the data than it be in movie theater quality. I want to see that.
But we're not getting any exhaust plume or anything coming off this stuff to go ahead and show it all.
Still telling a lot, right? And that's telling a lot. We're getting a lot of information just from it.
Is the fact that it's so much wider than everything else mean it's like really cold?
It's standing out, so it's a different temperature than.
It could be really cold, or it could be really hot. We don't have the information to know at this point because it's
to know what the mode is, right? We don't know if it's black hot. Could be white hot because it's standing out, but then like Tom said, I mean, there's water back there, right? So, what's the temperature of the water? Typically cold.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It seems like it'd be like really cold.
Well, the craft we have flying over here in the Seattle area, they're invisible to the eye, but if you have a camera that can see down to negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a certain, if you want to call it, type of long wave infrared waves that are out there, you can go ahead and see these craft that are mirroring and flying right along behind our 737s that are coming into land. Ones that are by themselves and other ones that have something that looks like an orb, a sphere, or some kind of small little craft in tow moving lockstep with it.
Gazer says the ship was black. It was hot. I agree with Stargazer. You know, sun's beating down on it. Ship's hot. Exhaust from the ship.
Yeah.
No, Billy, you're right. It's not a bird. We can rule that out.
Not a bird, a plane, or even a frog. It's just little old me, underdog. I can't be the only one who remembers that cartoon. This one's just having fun, just zooming back and forth on its own merry way. This one's just zooming back and forth. And I think that's it, going ahead and taking off and saying I'm done.
Jason Brown, I mean, like, how is it a bird? How is that a bird? Like, do you see wings flapping, or explain to me the bird theory?
We don't. Not even close. So let's move on to our next.
And just so, there was somebody else that made a comment in there that cold is black. And you can flip these systems, and I think when you're Corporal A is way better to talk about this shit than I am.
You can have white is hot or black is hot.
And they do frequently flip them between both when they're trying to figure out what they're seeing. So not in this case. It was always cold, I think.
All right.
So I mean, it could be what's the temperature of the day? Is it the middle of the day, or is it the middle? Is it the middle of the night? Right, and you got varying temperatures. What's the environment like? What's your location? It could have been black hot. It could have been white hot. But what they are doing is they are redacting that information, so we can't see that. We do need that little bit of information. Would give us way more details.
So this one looks interesting. Fuck is he? What the hell? What the hell is that?
What the hell?
Have that here.
What the hell is that?
No, I've got a great video of that. What the hell is even that? So let's just go ahead and play this. Here we go. This one's booking. I mean, it's really booking.
Yeah, that's movement. That's movement. Is this the one that morphs into the Star Trek shit? Yeah, this is the Star Trek guy. This
I don't
one
know
was
if
weird.
it is or not.
Yeah, this one's like zoomed out soon, right? Yep. There it is.
It definitely has some definitive features that aren't changing. That's interesting.
I mean, this is the Lou Elizondo.
Oh, what the hell was that?
5 observables.
You see that?
Instantaneous.
There it is. They're just going ahead and chasing it at full speed and whoomp. One more time. Instantaneous, and that's real time playing, folks. Would you call that instantaneous?
That's the instantaneous
acceleration. Boom.
Acceleration. Yeah, I mean, it's already traveling at a fucking fast speed right there, because you can see the background, the clouds. I mean, come on, that was a pretty good clip. It doesn't even matter if the camera's trying to keep up and you're saying it's parallax, but then all of a sudden it like just starts to lose the formation. Looks like it's
no, that's it. They lost it. It's gone.
It's gone.
It was here a second ago. It was there.
What is that? What is that?
They're following it along.
Any propulsion. There's
what
no
does
propulsion.
that? Where's the plume? There's no nothing.
Let's zoom in on it. It's going to go do its thing. There
And
we
a
go.
bird.
But, you know, this almost looks like the ones where we have like the square with the black ones on the corners. You can just see, there we go. It's almost like they call it a tesseract.
I thought I saw a box
Boom.
with a disintegrated handle for a second.
Thomas, Ted has his hand up.
Go ahead, Ted. You're muted. It even stretches out. You're still muted, Ted. We can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, you should have been muted, Ted.
You hit the space bar. There you go.
Thomas, if you have a close look at that, the camera actually stops moving and the object moves out of frame. Then you can see the background.
The camera doesn't stop moving. The camera is locked onto it right there when it's moving.
And the object, there we go.
Yeah, the camera is locked onto the scene and is watching it's moving. They're not trying to reorient. And then as soon as it gets to the one point, it's just going to go ahead and just literally stretch out. What's
the rest of the video? Is it just...
Yeah, it's got a tail. It's moving so quick.
Yeah, that's right. But the camera stops moving. That's why.
Well, the camera hasn't been moving. No, the camera's been moving going along. This thing stretches out. It has instantaneous acceleration, and it just gets the fuck out of there. Boom.
Who's driving and what is that?
Yeah, see the background is moving, and then it stops. There we go.
I mean, he does look. Who's talking right now? Ted?
Yeah.
Ted. I see what Ted's talking about.
Yeah, it's moving along. But here's the thing. It's moving, right? Now it's already starting to stretch out. Watch. The background is moving, right? It starts to stretch out. The background is still moving. It's still going. You can still see this. You can still see this blob moving along. This is still moving as it's going along, and it slowed down. Once it got to the edge of the screen, that's when the background stopped moving. Right there, and it stopped. Basically, maybe they knew the field of view or whatever it was, the object left it, and that's where they start to go ahead and try and figure out where the fuck did it go. And they start searching everywhere, but it's completely gone.
Yeah, could be right. It was just my first impression. I'll have to have a closer look at it, but you could be right, Thomas.
Yeah. It's not like I have 20 years experience staring at pixels, making video games. Yeah.
Self-included, mate.
That is just, that is like Star Trek. Dun, 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 dun.
That's fucking Picard saying energize, man. Look at that. Watch it. It just goes energize. He's gone.
Warp speed, baby. Yeah, I mean, the more that you show these, the more I'm encouraged by what was released, honestly,
And is that not high quality? You can tell what that's doing. We're tracking speed. We can tell like that's high quality.
Yeah. I already heard NASA.
It's premium.
This one's going to be hard to see. But at the end, you're going to be like, what the fuck is that? So we're going to get a UFO. They're going to zoom in on it. We're going to see it in for here for a while. And then it's going to come out of that. And you're going to be like, what the fuck was even that? Literally. So let's play it. The object. And they're going to keep it locked in for a certain amount of time. So it's going to be safe for us to go ahead and zoom in. They've got it locked in. That means we can fire and kill it, right? Usually. But it looks like it's one of those things. It looks like you got two balls and a small cock there. There we go. Whatever that is. Still trying to figure out.
You're saying it's Asian technologies? What do you say?
No. There we go. Now they just zoomed in. And there's the balls, folks. There's two of them. Actually, there's three. You got 1, 2, 3 objects.
I knew it. We're going to get fucked. I knew those aliens were not up to any good.
No. Anytime you talk about anal entry and lube and long things that are sticking up, those grays are fucking perverts, my God.
Oh, God. This is
that's why they got the lights like disco lights, and it's 3 guys hanging out, going ahead and roofing people. Okay, here it is. What now? Look at this. All of a sudden, I'm going in. I had to go in reverse here for a second because it's getting bigger. We got the 2 of them, right? And now the thing's getting so large. What the fuck is that? Is that like Barney Rubble or Fred Flintstone there with the 2 eyes, a nose, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth with a chin?
It's not a swastika, is it?
No, it's not. No. Is it a dog where we got a nose and a long ear coming down by the hair there? What the fuck is that?
The best minds in the government couldn't figure that out. What is?
It looks like a face. You got 2 eyes, a big nose.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Who? What?
I mean,
I would get so in trouble.
In the White House that one time, I would do cocaine in the White House too if that was in here.
Daryl, I could say it, but I get in trouble. This was in the sequel to History of the World Part 2 that we never saw.
Dr. Lee said
in space.
Dr. Lee, that is fucked.
What the hell?
Yeah, look at this thing. What the hell is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It turned into a whole different thing. It was a whole thing a few minutes
ago. All I see is the face now with the Hitler.
I know. And that was the first thing I saw. I can pick up pareidolia really good. So, all right. Yeah, we're going to be seeing things that make no sense. Let's get on to our next one. What do we have in here? Oh, this was one where they have 2 different views at the same time, I believe.
That's why I'm lost on people saying nothing came out today and there's no quality. What the hell are you guys talking? Are you watching the same channel?
No, they're watching frickin' X and Twitter and YouTube and blah, 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 or Spacebook and everything. Okay. So here we got two different views. Ah, there it is. It's popping out already. There it goes. Oh, this is the one. It's the jellyfish.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of these folks today. A bunch of these videos of the fucking jellyfish where you've got the object at the top there. Let's zoom in, bring it in, and blur it out. But you get an object at the top here, right? A big knob. And below that big knob, you've got this kind of stuff just hanging down and dangling. Zoom out again as they're trying to find it. There it goes. Again, we've got that issue going in the center of the sensor. Before we saw it when it was dark. Now we see that it's light, which could mean it could be an opposite effect of light is dark, dark is light, or light. Either way, wherever it is, they don't want us to know.
Is that a mushroom?
Definitely weird.
It is a mushroom with a very large head. Yes.
That's what she said.
Definitely not Asian.
Thanks, Corporal. That was good.
I mean, it could be a mushroom or a jellyfish. I'm not high enough for that.
All we know is
either
the
way, how
government-
did that get there, right? And
the
that's what they
government ha-
released.
Yeah, the government hasn't figured it out either, so I guess we're okay to just make
What the
fun of
hell?
it.
How did I get here? And why does my ass hurt so
I
much?
believe that we have dolphins that are doing weird shit.
They're trying to find it again. Interesting. It looks like there's roads and stuff down below. And
You're
they're
not lying, Adolf. Adolf said I need a drink. You ain't lying, bro. Let's
All
do
right.
that together.
Oh, there we go. We got more. We got more where that came from.
National security, everybody.
Yeah, I know I've been drinking without national security. So every time I take a sip, I am going to say national security from now on, just to keep us all fair and in line. So what do we have on this one? This one is 24 seconds. Oh, this is the easy one. Yeah, we've got this little dot here. It's flying around. Could be like a tic tac or something. It's got to be the ocean below. We have some probably an island down here or something. We have some clouds up in the distance, and we've got this little fucker just kind of hanging around.
That's some Tom King shit right there.
Yeah. Tom, we love you. Come back to home. And it's gone. That's it. Came and I barely knew. So let's get past it. What is our next video we got here?
Jason Brown, weather balloon with sensors suspended is more likely than a jellyfish. I just don't. I can't believe that the government would waste the fuel, waste the man hours for something as prosaic as a weather balloon.
Wait a minute. Do you think the government knows what the fuck a weather balloon looks
That's
like?
embarrassment. Yeah,
Right.
they have
That's
those
my
things,
point.
you know?
Why would you put it out
I
there?
just
'Cause it would
can't.
be
I can't get on
embarrassing.
board with that, Jason.
You know why they'd bring it out there, right?
Well, no, what I'm saying is it would
National
be
security
embarrassing
reasons.
If somebody else figured it out and our entire government didn't.
Yeah. Well, it's because of national
Fucking
security,
weather
Daryl.
balloon,
Yeah, that's true.
God, he's not even hearing it. National security, third time.
Oh my God. Jesus. Between you and Abe a few seconds ago, I'm drunk already.
All right, here we go.
What do you think about that, Ferrari?
Oh, this is it. This is the one. This is the Ezekiel's wheel, as they call it. This is the one that Laura brought up earlier. It came out from Jeremy Corbell, gave us a video of this. What's interesting about this one is it's farting something behind it, which usually on any of these
that looks
craft,
like a propulsion trail. That
you
looks
don't
like a
see any
propulsion
kind of trail behind it.
But where the hell is the cameraman? Is there a drone flying away from that? Because
Well, that is the question. It looks like
No.
Look
Look at
whatever it is.
Okay,
going,
boys.
whatever-
Just look at the background. Everything's there, right? You're not seeing the background going and flying around and everything. This thing is kind of staying static, looking at the stuff, I would think. By the way, folks, if you're watching the show, we still have 509 people watching. Give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 8,000. We're going to get there. It's from someone like you, so let's continue this video. Yeah, this is...
subscribe, by the way. My dog, sorry. Tell him to subscribe.
Why does
you see that trail, and then the object is leading in front of the trail, and then our vantage point is the camera and the crosshair, right? So it's coming towards the camera.
But it's not getting any bigger, though.
I can't explain that, but
and what the fuck is that curtain flying around by it?
That's what I'm.
What the fuck is that?
Hold on.
What the hell is that thing?
I don't know.
Coming down over here, coming down. What the fuck is that even that? It's like doing a 3D rotation. It comes down.
Could it be going away from the camera, and this is the exhaust plume? Because again, that looks like an exhaust plume, and it just looks like again a weapons test of a missile that's being fired from like a rocket that's just like in its flight path trajectory, and we're just seeing an exhaust plume. That's what it looks like to me.
It's the sky chandelier.
But I then don't believe that the government will waste its time on a fucking video of a rocket being fired.
If it's something they already know what it is, right? Why would they keep on recording it?
Right. I agree. So there's something weird about it.
Yeah.
What is the line at the bottom? The white line, is that the wing of the plane?
Maybe if we zoomed out a little, if it could zoom out, if I could see it a little bit.
I'm already zoomed out, Abe, and there it's gone.
I don't know what that is.
It wanted you to zoom in, and it's gone.
Did it ever go below that white line?
Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah. So what the hell is the white line? I
have no clue. Move on to our next one.
Let's have a poll. Is this a rocket or a UAP?
Okay.
Or UAP?
This is the one they were calling Ezekiel's wheel. All right, audience, this is your chance to go ahead and give us a vote on this one. Try and get it there. Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Got it. 1 minute.
Looks like the star on top of Laura's Christmas tree.
We're talking about this one, folks. What do you think? Tell us. So far, let's see what the audience is saying it so far right now. 72% of our audience is saying it's NHI based. 74% is saying it's NHI based. 76% with the rest going to prosaic. Let's see where it goes. We got 1:06 left to go. We got 52 votes in already. So I don't think there's any way for us even to get close that it's prosaic, but it's interesting. We're at 26% of our audience is saying, yeah, or those who responded is saying it's prosaic, meaning
what would
it's
be interesting,
human.
Thomas, is if you could tell from that video, is that smoke being seen through the center of that thing?
I don't know. I could only tell if it's being blown up my ass, and that is, I don't know.
What I'm saying is that
it's definitely worth more investigation and more governmental looking at, and so this is.
But people thinking that that's a flare being coming at them or a rocket. If you can see through that, and I don't think it's a rocket.
Yeah.
It's not a flare, Daryl. It's not flickering like a flare would.
No, somebody on the chat said it's a flare.
Yeah.
And if you see the flares that are there, they're standing in place and they're dropping stuff slowly as they slowly just drift downward.
I just have never seen anything.
Well, with 4 seconds left, we're at it. The wheel UAP, 75% of our audience once again and says...
Not prosaic.
It's not prosaic. Let's move this back up here. Let's get back to what's going over on YouTube. Not on YouTube, over on X. We've got a short piece here coming from ABC News. Yes, World News Tonight. Yes, it's being covered everywhere, folks. Let's get into this next video. We got a bunch more stuff to cover. Hopefully you're having a good time enjoying the disclosure that we all finally deserve. So, no, I don't care about the views. Hold on. It's all the way up. Here we go, folks.
Here the UFO files, the never-before-seen images just made public. The Pentagon releasing the first wave, dozens of videos going back decades, showing mystery sightings in the skies over the U.S., even American astronauts and what they reported seeing from the surface of the moon. Here's Jay O'Brien tonight.
Tonight, extraterrestrial enthusiasts of all kinds are poring over unexplained videos, photos, and reports released today by the Pentagon on the order of President Trump. More than 160 file sightings of unknown flying objects, some made public for the first time, officially called unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, better known as UFOs. This infrared video taken by the U.S. military somewhere in the Middle East in 2013, appearing to show a star-shaped object leaving behind a trail in the sky. This one showing a white dot seen darting through a wind farm. Another flying fast west to east, spotted by U.S. Central Command over rooftops in Iraq. Also in the files, audio of Gemini 7 astronaut Frank Borman detailing a sighting of an unidentified object during the 1965 mission, calling it a bogey.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock.
Room.
So we have several, looks like debris up there, actual sighting.
Apollo 17 astronauts taking this photo on the moon, showing 3 dots in a triangular formation, the crew describing very bright particles of light rotating way out in the distance. President Trump, who after prodding from congressional Republicans declassified the files, touting complete and maximum transparency, writing it's up to the public to decide for themselves what the hell is going on.
And David, the government touted these files as never before seen, but some of them had been public in the past. The military, though, acknowledges that many are unresolved. They cannot be explained. And tonight, the Pentagon is promising more releases of files to come. David.
A lot of interest for sure. Jay O'Brien, thank you.
All right, in our next clip, we've got it coming from Fox News with Brett Baer and Peter Doocy. I believe Peter has been one of the persons out there, Daryl, who's been asking the questions of Trump where nobody else has.
He's one of the best Peters in the business.
Yep, exactly. Let's go ahead and get to it. Here we go, folks.
Peter Doocy in the White House briefing room. Peter, thank you. David Grush is a former U.S. Air Force officer, an intelligence official, whistleblower, and special advisor to Missouri Republican Representative Eric Burleson, who has helped lead the push for disclosure. He joins us tonight. Welcome back to Special Report, David. I want to get your sense of this release today, what you make of it, what you think is coming. What's next?
Yes, Brett, we should acknowledge this first tranche is certainly historically significant. The president is really significant. Some will be attributed as prosaic natural phenomenon, and upon further analysis, I believe further documents will reveal a lot of the other information that I got access to in terms of foreign intelligence on adversarial UAP programs and certain U.S. operations. However, that security declassification review is quite complex, and I would expect some delays. But I certainly fully support Trump's White House team on this declassification, and we should definitely applaud the president for following through. But do know that there's going to be some agency obfuscation.
That you said adversarial UAP programs, that's talking about other countries that may have recovered craft that are trying to kind of re-engineer it for their own purposes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. And there was also programs to detect and track UAP, very much akin to the UAP task force and other kind of outside the onion efforts over the years.
Okay, this is, we had you on obviously in November. We did a series of reports, and thanks for coming on back then. This is what you said then about the president.
Certainly the current president is very knowledgeable on this subject, and I really believe if Trump wants to be the greatest president and the most consequential leader likely in world history, he certainly has the knowledge, the capabilities, and understanding of some of these sensitive government transparency issues.
So you think, one, he knows, and two, he's open to transparency on UAPs?
He certainly is very well informed on this issue. Leave it at that.
Yeah, so you think he's opening up this door and knows a lot more?
Oh, yes, sir. And I actually went into that in detail recently. I did an interview with Chris Farrell on Judicial Watch, and certainly President was briefed late in his first term before COVID by a particular agency and was briefed on many of these issues, to include the crash retrieval issue. However, like I pointed out on Judicial Watch, certainly I don't think he's gotten all the information, and because of that agency's reputation, he certainly probably doesn't believe quite everything that he's been told, and I'm sure he's tasked his team in the White House to verify a lot of the other aspects that he was briefed on his first term.
You know, there's a lot of people out today saying this doesn't, you know, advance the ball that much. I want to see the real stuff. There are a lot of documents out. It's released by the Department of War. It's from the 1960s. It's an FBI report which says a few witnesses have reported seeing crewmen landed from these objects who are described as 3.5 to 4 feet tall, wearing what appear to be spacesuits and helmets. I mean, that's the first reference in this tranche to actual.
Well, it sounds like the Greys to me, Mike. What do you think? Yeah, 100%.
Creatures, aliens, extraterrestrial. Do you know that to be true?
That is true, and certainly the U.S. government has recovered those biological materials, something I've testified to. And because of that, a lot of other cabinet agencies, to include, believe it or not, HHS, under RFK's leadership, will actually have to deal with some of the document triage that has resulted from some of these programs.
What? So what you're saying is we are on the cusp of getting a lot more detail.
What say you, Daryl? You just said what?
Yeah, that's... Wow.
Let's rewind a little bit. Hear what he says again. Hold on.
Believe it or not, HHS, under biological materials, something I've testified to. And because of that, a lot of other cabinet agencies, to include, believe it or not, HHS, under RFK's leadership, will actually have to deal with some of the document triage that has resulted from some of these programs.
That one.
Wow. That's really interesting that they've buried
Which
that
me,
in
oh
the
my God, did COVID come from aliens?
So there's one other thing. I want to say this before there's too much national security in my bloodstream.
Well, you said
I
it.
noticed this. Oh shit! Fuck myself. Anyway, I've noticed this in the Grush interviews that he's done recently. You see on over his left shoulder, there's a picture, and it's the one thing that's not like another on those walls.
Which one of these is not like the others? Which one of these is not the same?
Yeah. And I was watching some interview where it was blown up pretty big, and I zoomed in from the space shuttle, a picture from the space shuttle, and in the distance are 3 dots in a triangle.
I think
thing.
we got a hint from Lou on this in the interview we didn't hear the full thing of earlier today, that Grush and Lou, while working at Space Force, right, went and actually worked through a bunch of cases coming from NASA that were from the space shuttle days and more current from the space station, where there were a lot of craft coming around those particular if you want to call it locations, the space shuttle or the space station, that weren't from us, weren't human.
Right. I'm just saying there's something. It is the one.
So
thing
that's not like Luke Skywalker landing back on his side with his lightsaber going there.
And that thing going straight up looks like the tail of the space shuttle.
Okay,
All I'm
cool.
saying is if somebody wants to do a little deep dive, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Oh, then we got that. Then they got this one here. It's this big orange blob. It's translucent. Goes from here, goes to here, and it.
Saying is we are on the cusp of getting a lot more details that deal with actual alien beings, however you're going to describe them.
That's certainly up to the president's team, and I certainly support them, but it has come to my attention actually recently, as of today, there are some actors within certain intelligence agencies, to include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the president's presidentially appointed team and getting access.
DIA and CIA are blocking Trump. Oh, he's not going to be happy if he hears about that, Daryl. Fuck.
Typically not.
You know, what are the 2 words we could possibly hear about those guys? You're fired.
Yeah.
And he can do it.
I think, Tim Burchett has made this statement a few times now. He did it in the Joe Rogan interview, and he did it in the 2 other interviews I saw with Burchett. And he said these words. Askapol was one. I don't think President Trump knows the right questions to ask of the right people. Now, he's making a point of saying that. Now, if Trump hears that, that's That's pretty smart strategery on Tim Burch's point of.
There's been a lot of good strategery to try and get Trump involved in this. If you know this could, if you hear, I mean, I read all the statements coming from Hegseth and Kash Patel and coming from Tulsi Gabbard, the head of the OVNI, all saying about this has never been done before. Bigger, better, biggest disclosure ever to happen. You know, that is just Trump language, if you ask me, big time. They're all playing into him to bring this truth out, which I love.
Yeah, well, you know, now there's enough out there, and there's enough reporters that are in the White House pool that get pulled into the Oval Office whenever he does these impromptu press conferences every single day and sometimes on the weekend, that these people hopefully will hold his feet to the fire for more information.
Again, I'm going to try and go ahead and disclose some more things that would usually be covered over national security.
I mean, the 8-pointed star, all these are very interesting, but that 8-pointed star thing is very interesting to me. That's the clearest thing I think we've got so far.
Yep. There we go. Let's hear the rest of this. Couple seconds left.
And getting control on some of these historical records. So I really expect the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Bradley Hansel, to take care of that, as some of that's under his cognizance, especially on.
He said national intelligence and security. Technically,
that's a 1.5. Come back here, buddy.
A small one.
The national program side, which is directly under his organization, to reveal some of the historical National Security Council records on this.
Fuck. Obviously, national security representatives, Daryl, can put your dog down.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting him a drink.
So there's a lot of skepticism out there. There's a lot of people saying, I'm not sure, but we're going to see. This disclosure is important. We've covered it from the beginning. David, we appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Finally, Daryl, the name Disclosure tonight finally happens. Or after 5 fucking years. God damn it.
Sorry, Ferrari's having a meltdown over somebody over here.
Tonight.
He's literally talking.
No, not that one. I need to get in my bookmarks. I got the good stuff in the bookmark. Where are the bookmarks? Let's get to it. He's growling at you. All right. This is the stakeout on CBS News. She could fit in the Trump organization, I think. There we go.
What'd you say? Is she a part of the Trump administration?
She could fit into the Trump organization. She fits the model.
Releasing previously classified documents related to UFOs. The files included dozens of videos of unresolved reports of sightings of unidentified aerial phenomenon, like this one that you see here from 2013 that was spotted somewhere in the Middle East. Some of the documents also contain photos taken from the surface of the moon of objects observed by NASA astronauts during the Apollo 12 and Apollo 17 missions. President Trump had long promised to release documents like these. Alex Dietrich joins me now. She's a retired Navy fighter pilot and has spoken about her own experience.
Yeah, she is a retired Navy pilot. Love Alex.
Encountering a UFO during a training exercise.
She was one of the pilots in the Nimitz Tic Tac encounter. Let's see where she takes us.
Thanks so much for being here. I want to get to that experience in a minute. But you were one of the many people who were pushing for these files to be released. I remember the president talking about doing so on the campaign trail and the like. Why did you want these to be released?
I think that transparency is the right instinct here, and I'm genuinely glad that this material is out in the public domain. What I would do is caution any impulse to treat today as an answer. So it's the beginning of a process. The Pentagon said so themselves, that these files have yet to be fully analyzed. And so right now our response should be to read them carefully, be patient, and not race to any conclusion.
What do you think needs to happen to make sure we can kind of better understand these incidents?
Yeah, I think that we need to approach this systematically. Again, this is an important first step. We need to work together. When we talk about the Pentagon, we should also be talking about NASA. We should also be talking about the FAA. This is a national security concern. It's also a safety of flight issue. And of course, the big brain scientists at NASA and even in academia really should be a part of this to help give trends in the data so that we can find when and where the next incident might happen.
And I mentioned in the intro that you have your own experience seeing a UFO. What was that like? Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw and how did you report it?
Sure. Our incident, the USS Nimitz Tic Tac encounter is sometimes what it's referred to as, happened off the coast of California in 2004. We were in the middle of training, pre-deployment training, getting ready to go to the Gulf. And so we were not carrying weapons. We were practicing our maneuvers, and we saw something strange. We couldn't identify it. It was the middle of the day, clear blue skies, calm waters, and we saw this strange object behaving strangely with weird physics. And so we reported it. We reported it through our intelligence channel and our chain of command, and talking about it in a serious and grounded way is to encourage other people who see strange things to say something, to report them, and then to have a system, office and analysts there to receive the information, the technology and tools to analyze it. And again, maybe we can predict when and where something will happen and make sense of whether this is a national security threat, a safety concern, or just something curious for scientists.
Yeah, and the follow through, as you mentioned, is critical here. And this is just the first batch, so we'll see what else comes out from these releases. Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, the first batch of tens of millions of documents, as Elizondo put it. Wow. You know, talking about the space shuttle and different things. Remember the time we had, back in 1996 in NASA, we had this tether incident where we had a 12-mile long tether snapped into space and was immediately swarmed by unidentified orbs of light. Today we saw incredible testimony from NASA astronauts, but not about this one. But Lou Elizondo said, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we saw from the space shuttle and the space station, right? That was UAP related. So there's that space tether that broke, and then they have all these things all flying around it and things going on. And they're saying, oh, no, that's just ice crystals. Daryl, your hand is up. Did you believe that excuse?
There was some, I have filed this in my mind as a prosaic explanation for some other reason, because I think there's some other things like this that have happened that produces the same effect. So anyway, but what I want to comment was Alex Dietrich.
Yeah.
Has there only been men that have testified before Congress about UFOs?
Yes.
So maybe they should put Alex Dietrich up there. I mean, women do bring other kind of like qualifying qualities to this subject. So it'd be good to see her, telling her experience. So women go, oh, it's just not crazy men, or at least something like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Possibility, you never know.
In the book of possibilities.
Yes. All right. Well, even CNN, believe it or not, had coverage today, which is interesting because we know how they love Trump so much. Let's see where they take this clip from and where they take it.
Time for our out of this world league.
Remember, they have a new owner from Paramount. Don't they have a new owner, Daryl? Someone bought out CNN?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Larry Ellison and his son bought it out.
Oh.
They're not from the left, unfortunately, for them.
The truth is out there, Fox Mulder said. The Pentagon today released What it says are never before seen images of unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, or as you and I know them, UFOs, as well as several investigations into reported sightings that span decades. CNN's Tom Foreman probed the files to see what our interstellar neighbors may have been up to.
Crackling with videos and photos showing cryptic images of what appear to be very peculiar flying craft. The release by the Pentagon has UFO and UAP watchers buzzing, even as President Trump, who ordered the release, has said he doesn't know if there is life beyond Earth.
I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do.
Many of the newly released reports are quite recent. For example, U.S. intelligence officials just last year saying they saw glowing orbs traveling in some undisclosed spot at a high rate of speed. They appeared to be oval-shaped, orange in color with a white or yellow center, and emitting light in all directions. In 2022, there are reports of a military sensor tracking a UAP moving from north to south, and in another report, flying from west to east. In 2024, a teardrop-shaped craft and an uneven ball of white light and a diamond-shaped vessel traveling nearly 500 miles an hour are all reported by military observers.
All engines running, commit, liftoff.
Older NASA missions also appear, although many were made public earlier. Among them, a bit of unusual audio between the capsule and ground control during the 1965 Gemini 7 mission.
This is Houston. Say again, 7?
We have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
It looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Also, Apollo 12 astronaut Alan Bean reporting from space in 1969. You can see these lights, particles of light, flashes of light, and they're just sailing off. They really haul out of here and press off out at the stars. There are many pages of comments by curious citizens, some obvious hoaxes, and more, but no solid answers about what it all means from government officials present or past.
I have not seen any firm evidence that there are aliens out there. What the Pentagon is now doing is basically letting the American people make up their own minds.
Now, let's be clear about this. Almost all of this does get explained. It's an airplane, or it's a weather balloon, or it's a meteoroid, or it's sometimes even some type of mirage. Almost all of it. But some of it has not been explained, and that's what keeps the interest alive in this. And I think it's going to grow even more because the Pentagon says they're going to release even more files, which perhaps more current sightings.
All right, Tom Foreman, thanks so much. Let's talk about this now with retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet. He's the former head of the Naval Meteorology and Oceanography Command. Sorry, got a cold here. He ran the Naval Observatory, and he became the acting administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And due to some of his own personal experience, he's a firm believer that not only do aliens exist, they have come to Earth. So, Rear Admiral, I want to get to your opinion in a sec. But I do want to ask about your reaction to the material released today. So I guess first, what was your reaction to what was released today?
Well, I was quite impressed, Jake, and thanks for having me. And this is really could be a historic moment for government transparency in general, and that related to UFOs or UAP specifically. Really, the government has been involved with an 80-year cover-up of the data, information, and material evidence of the reality of these objects and phenomena, and now it's coming out. And I really didn't think this would happen, but the whole body of evidence of these videos, some are of course grainy and hard to determine and need more data behind them, but others are quite extraordinary and back up previous videos released, as well as testimony in a documentary film that I was a part of called The Age of Disclosure that included very senior government officials, including current Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio.
So tell us what convinced you that aliens have been here. There was a 2015 incident with the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Tell us about that.
Okay, I wouldn't say that convinced me aliens were here. What I'd really like to characterize that as there are objects in our airspace and water space that we can't explain and they're under intelligent control that we don't understand their nature or intentions. And that's a reality. It's not adversaries. It's not our own technology. I wouldn't call them aliens. We don't know where they're from. We don't know what their nature is. We don't know why they're here and what their intent is, but they're prevalent. And these videos are another tip of the iceberg, basically, because I'm aware of many, many more videos and images and reports by credible observers in the military and in the intelligence community of these kind of objects and phenomena that we just cannot explain.
So I guess the question is, what are they if they're not aliens of some form, alien life form or robot life form sent from someone? Because, I mean, do you think that the Russians or the Iranians or the Chinese are capable of this kind of technology that you're talking about?
I do not. I've been read into our adversaries' capabilities, and I'm pretty certain, I'm very certain that this is not them. And what they are, we don't know. And that's why the release of these initial videos is so historic, because if the Pentagon follows through in the administration and releasing more, then we can actually open this up to independent research from universities, from think tanks, and the government, actually, government bodies that have been reluctant to research this, like my former organizations, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the Office of the Naval Oceanographic Office, or the Office of Naval Intelligence. If we can start conducting deliberate research into them, we can find out now what are these and answer all these questions that still remain unanswered.
I don't know how much time you've had to go over what was released today, but what was the most significant thing you saw that was released today?
I looked at every single report, video, and image, Jake, and I think the one that stood out to me is this UFO that is moving around a wind farm in the Indo-Pacific region, and it's absolutely remarkable. I'll ask your audience to pull it up, but this object is maneuvering around these wind turbines, and it can't be explained. We don't have it can't be explained by a drone or a helicopter. It adds to the body of evidence that is occurring now in terms of video data and imagery that has convinced me that we are not alone in the universe.
All right, I'll find out what you're talking about, and I'll put it out on social media and say this is what Admiral Gallaudet was talking about. Thank you so much. Please come back again. Fascinating conversation.
Here we go. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you can find it, you need to put up that image of the object flying in amongst those wind turbines.
Yeah, I've got to find that one.
You had it up earlier.
Yeah, earlier today, yes.
Because
there we go.
You know, I saw in the earlier show when you put it up, somebody
this goes on for 1:46. Is this the video? No, that's not it. That's the one I just had up. God damn it.
That's the Jesus.
No,
angel
I know that's the Jesus one. Yes, the Ezekiel's wheel. Here's that one. That one is 1:38, and I was going to find a video to play of Burleson talking about stuff. It goes on for several minutes. I could go ahead and feed the dogs because they're telling me we're hungry, and someone hasn't fed them yet. So let's go ahead and play this clip of the UAP flying around through a windmill farm. Let's take it to full screen on this. Here we go. It's now shooting to the left. It's going to turn around, go down to the south, and then go back through the windmill farm. No audio.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that. Somebody in the show earlier on said, it could be a drone checking the windmills out. Now, I couldn't see that happening. The reasoning for that is, why would you fly a drone into the windmills when they're actually rotating? If you're going to check for damage, this thing wasn't hovering around any of the windmills or anything.
Not at all.
So,
Here
and
it
it's
goes.
actually flying through the blades as they turn.
Yeah. That's just showing off.
Yeah.
Or it's just really low to the ground and it looks like he's flying through the blades.
Well, we've got someone in the audience who said most of these things are birds. Well, okay. Prove it.
Yeah.
Look, it's a flock of seagulls. God, is that Mick West in the audience? I don't know.
If you're doing the check on these windmills, you wouldn't be checking the blades with them rotating. You'd be having them static.
Yeah.
And this thing is going through way too quick to even.
Oh, there's more. I didn't know there's more.
Yeah.
Will
There
we
it
go
goes. It's going to
back?
come back and go the opposite direction.
And I think, again, this, to me, it looks like it's a windmill, a wind turbine farm in the sea. There seems to be a hell of a correlation between these objects.
And that's the end of it.
He said in Indonesia, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, that's correct. He said Indonesia. And, I know somebody else in the chat was saying it's a maintenance drone, but again, whose boss is that's allowing you to fucking risk that maintenance? Get out of here.
How many drones did we go through today?
Right. You're fired, bro. In Indonesia, they're going to chop your hands off.
Yeah. I hear you, my friend. It's one of those things. Okay. I've got a video here coming next from Eric Burleson. I need to go ahead and play this and try and feed the dogs because they are hungry. Let's see if I can debone some chicken and get it ready for them and feed them by the time this video is over. Where's my phone? Hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes. All right, here we go, folks.
Let me start here. Did you learn anything today?
Well, first, I'm going to take a step back and say there's never going to be a moment where a release occurs where you could say that it was a distraction or wasn't a distraction. To me, if it is a distraction, I'll take it because we've been fighting for some kind of disclosure or release for decades. The American people have been begging for this for decades. And for the first time, you have a U.S. president who's saying, here it is. And the fact that he's not running it through, programs like Arrow to filter it or to some Rube Goldberg process that takes months and months to declassify. He is being extremely transparent with the American people. And so I think there's more to come. I think what we're seeing is the low-hanging fruit items that they were able to quickly search and find and release. But to get to the real bottom of this, they're going to have to dig very hard and deep. They're going to have to go to the CIA. They're going to have to make the CIA release stuff. They're going to have to go to some of our FFRDCs, which are the federally funded research and development centers, companies like MITRE, Rand Corp, Aerospace Corp. They're going to have to go to companies like Lockheed and Northrop Grumman, and they're going to have to subpoena some of this information, I think, if we're going to really get to the bottom of this.
Interesting. So you talk about more to come. I want to show your colleague, Congressman Tim Burchett. You two are two of the handful who are really pushing this stuff. Here's what he said today. He said, remember, the feds told us these files don't exist. President Trump stood up to the deep state. The first drop will be big, but in comparison to what is coming, this will be a drop in the bucket. I would say, quote, holy crap, end quote, is coming. And I think it gets to the bottom line, Congressman. Is the government going to give us answers, like a yes or no, we know or we don't know, about possibly extraterrestrial life?
I don't know, honestly, Blake. What I can tell you is that I've seen videos, the same videos that Tim Burchett has seen. I've been in the same briefings. And yes, there's some moments where I scratch my head and I kind of walk away. I don't know that I would say, holy crap, but I would say there's going to be probably some ontological questions that will come about from some of the videos that hopefully are going to be released that I've seen. But at the end of the day, I don't jump to the same conclusion that some of my colleagues like Tim and others will make, which is this is aliens from another planet. I've yet to see the proof, the hard proof that this is something extraterrestrial. Now, I would say, look at the Apollo 17 footage. When you have those three lights in the sky.
What do you think that's all about, Congressman? Because I mean, look, that mission wasn't a secret, right? And here was part of the transcript that we're now hearing or seeing. He says, one of the astronauts, now we got a very few bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting as we maneuver. An astronaut says, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window down there, just bright. It looks like the 4th of July out of Ron's window. Yes, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling. So why are we just learning about this now?
That is a great question, because most of NASA is supposed to be open to the public. And that's why this is remarkable that this was kept top secret for so many years and kept under lock and key. I'm very grateful that this president was finally able to release this. This is the kind of example of what I'm talking about, Blake, is that some of the things that I think we're going to see is going to start changing people's perspectives about what potentially is out there, but we may not definitively have our hands on the craft, if that makes sense. Like, I know that there's a narrative that we do, and I'm going to track it down and do everything I can to try to get to the bottom of whether or not we have crashed material or we have alien bodies. But what we are able to get released, and the fact that this president is willing to at least release what we do have our hands on, is a great thing.
Absolutely. One
For
more
that
clip.
big new release of UFO documents tonight, President Trump telling the public to have fun deciding for itself what's going on. Among the sightings, an object over Kazakhstan doing corkscrews, something else over the Aegean Sea making 90-degree turns, and NASA's Buzz Aldrin in an Apollo 11 debrief reporting a sizable mystery object close to the moon. Here's CBS correspondent Carter Evans.
These images have been hidden from the public for years, until today when the Pentagon declassified dozens of videos showing unidentified objects tracked by the U.S. military. This one from 2013 looks like a giant 8-pointed star, seemingly floating in the air with no explanation.
Do you see any smoking gun there?
I don't see a smoking gun. Stanford professor Gary Nolan has previously helped the U.S. government analyze UFO evidence.
How should people look at this information?
I think with first a skeptical eye, what could explain it? I mean, it's not a balloon. It's not a seagull. Maybe it's a lens flare. Then what's left on the table, as spectacular as it might be, becomes a higher probability.
There's even newly released evidence of sightings from space during NASA's Apollo missions and audio transmissions from Gemini 7 in 1965 with a description from astronaut Jim Lovell.
The brilliant body of the sun against a black background, and with billions of particles around it. Ahead of us, 2 o'clock, slowly tumbling.
The cache of more than 160 files follows President Trump's earlier directive for transparency after decades of apparent sightings have fueled a wide range of conspiracy theories, from government cover-ups to aliens.
Do you believe alien life exists and has visited our planet?
I believe that the evidence suggests that there's something more to be looked at and shouldn't be ignored.
In this era of transparency, as the Trump administration says, do you think we are going to see more conclusive evidence?
Whether it's more conclusive, I don't know, but we're going to see more evidence. We have not seen everything that is there. I can say that with certainty.
Today, the administration confirmed that this is just the beginning and that new material will be released every few weeks as it's declassified. Tony?
All right, Carter, thank you very much.
So every few weeks, the conversation changes from from a month out to every few weeks. We'll see where it goes, Daryl?
Yeah, that's great. It's great. I did just, I don't know if you noticed, I posted in the back chat the link to the video of the MiG spraying the fuel on the drone, just so we can compare. Just so we can say everybody that's been saying in the back chat and everywhere else that we're not getting the full meal deal is 100% correct.
All right, so this is a Department of Defense video showing a MiG coming down and hitting one of our Reaper drones, correct? And it's actually dumping fuel on it, yes. And it happens twice. Let's go ahead and play it.
Okay. I believe you. I believe that the MiG sprayed the drone with the fuel. What's next? I mean, that's as easy as it gets, dude. It's like, it's very clear. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And what's one of the things that we're lacking in this video, and that we do have from the other videos that people complain about, right? And that's the difference, is censored data. Right. And so that video, the black and white videos that everybody's complaining about, it's a tool. It's not meant for like a beautiful high definition quality video. So you can see like this to prove that there's a MiG spraying a drone.
But Lou Elizondo's talked about videos like this in color, high definition, that are available for UAP, which is nothing we're getting access to.
And I'm
is
sure
it?
they're going to come out. I'm sure they're going to come out, and like we talked about, there's levels to this shit right now, and this is level 1, day 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Give them a few days. When do you guys see me supporting the administration? Right on this, they have my support. I'm telling you, just there's levels, and there's some other shit.
It's a slow roll.
More shit coming.
It's a slow roll.
You gotta walk. You gotta crawl before you walk.
In that last video we just watched with Gary Nolan, he proves that whole slow roll idea, because when the guy said, "Do you believe that there are aliens?" and whatever that question was, well, Gary Nolan's told everybody that he felt that he's had aliens in his bedroom. They look like the aliens on the cover of the communion book. I mean, he's very explicit about his experience, but he didn't say it there on CBS News or whatever mainstream media it was, because he knows then he'll immediately be considered a crackpot by most of the people that are watching that news channel.
Yep.
I respect
agree.
The government's decision and the way that they're going with it. I really do. I understand and respect it. I want my pizza right now. I do, but we got to look at it and look at the forest through the trees here, and say that is the world, the global population, ready for everything? Maybe we have a little bit more education on the topic, but let's get everybody else up to speed before we go and watch the horror movie together and then get the first kiss on the first date. You know?
The chat. This is UFO kinder. This is UFO kindergarten day 1.
Okay, right, exactly. And because we don't have like the college level UFO professors, we don't have that yet, and so we're building up to it. We got to work on it, and we're doing it together. We're all in it together.
Now, talking about disclosure, here we've got a clip of Tim Burchett over on Joe Rogan talking about President Carter. When he learned the truth about UFOs and aliens, he freaking cried with his heads in his hands for weeks. So let's hear what has to be said at this one. Here we go.
I don't know. Those guys came out the house. That was pretty convincing. That was before the hearings that we had.
How clear was the video?
Clear as a screen. I mean, it was pretty clear. And that was pre-AI. AI was such a new thing, and then it fit in with what the Tic Tac videos were, and the heat signature is what I always thought was unusual, because it had to have a heat signature, but it didn't.
Right.
It's a 0 point energy, whatever that is.
Right.
And then the quantum physics angle of it is mind-blowing to me. I don't think Trump knows. I mean, these people have kept this stuff secret. Here's another thing. I was in one meeting, and a guy said, what about the president on this? And he said, the president's on a need-to-know basis. Now, that's a federal employee saying that he or she has information that the president is not allowed to see. And I just was aghast, man. I said, that's the kind of crap you see on the Sci-Fi Network or something.
Right.
But that'd be the title of my book. I mean, that ought to tell you right there that this thing is a cover up. And it's kind of like MK Ultra. I don't think we're going to get they're not going to tell us everything. I really don't. I don't think they're going to give us half of what we should get.
But you think we're going to get something?
I think we'll get something.
Do you know Hal Puthoff? You know Hal Puthoff?
Do what?
Do you know Hal Puthoff?
No, I don't.
Do you know who he is?
I thought you know how put off you are right now. No. I was like, how put off are you?
Hal Puthoff was in the documentary as well. He was in the Age of Disclosure, and he was a guest on the podcast. And one of the things that he told me is that during the Bush administration, they brought in him and a bunch of other scientists and thought leaders, and what was explained to him was that they are considering disclosure, and that there have been visits of these super intelligent beings from somewhere else, that we have retrieved crashed vehicles, and that we have biological remains.
That's correct.
And we are talking about disclosing. We would like you to make a list of all the ways that it'll negatively affect society and all the ways that it'll positively affect society, and attach a numerical value to these things. And they all did it, and every one of them said the negatives far outweigh the positives in terms of the impact on government, the impact on the economy, religion, all these different factors, and how it would disrupt society. And in the end, they decided not to disclose.
Yeah, I've heard that many times. I just don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
I don't buy it. I mean, I don't
Bring
doubt
out the
what
fucking
he's
truth.
saying. I know all those guys. Now that you mentioned it, I was in the movie, of course, and I met them all afterwards. But I just don't buy that. I think we should know. Let us know. Let us decide.
No, I believe that too, but I wonder what that meeting was like and whether or not they were being truthful to these people or whether it was a thought experiment.
Allegedly, when they told Jimmy Carter, he cried.
That's what I heard too.
It was. I won't go into all of it, but I was in a meeting.
What would make him cry?
I don't know. He's a very sensitive guy. But
I understand, but I mean,
he was also a very religious guy, not sensitive, religious.
When I saw Old Yeller.
Yeah, I did too. Still cry. But they, he had seen a UFO. You know, he was on a Navy sub, nuclear sub, and I don't know if he saw that when he was on the sub or not. I can't remember. But you know, here he is. That guy was president of the United States, and
they told him something, and supposedly he cried.
And I was in the meeting, and that was brought up. And the guy that they were trying to trip up gave the date of that meeting, and he said, you can go to the Carter Library and pull up that date, and you'll know there's one person, they omitted their name, which who knows who that was, but they list the meeting and where he was when he got that briefing.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know if that's true or not. You know, they also say Nixon pulled up one night to Jackie Gleason's and took
I
him
know
out.
that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting times to say the least, Daryl. Holy cow. What a night.
Thomas, I have to tell you, in that, I don't know if you watched that whole video, but he talks about the man bun guy.
Yeah.
He gives more information as to who the guy is, and I can't remember who it is right now, too much national security. But I'll have to go back to Grok and ask him the section that happened in, because he gave more. It was like he was at some get-together or something. Anyway, he gave more details on who the guy with the man bun is.
Yeah. We'll have to track down and find a photo of this guy one way or the other.
Right.
The unelected bureaucrat from the DOD with a man bun.
Yes, that's exactly how he described him to Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, a great show tonight, Daryl. God, we've been on freaking 6 hours today. 6.5 hours, 7 hours at this point, because we're 4.5 earlier and we're 2.5 into this one.
You're the hardest man in the honest world of UFOs.
Yeah, well, we have to. With a name like Disclosure tonight, and Disclosure finally happens, we got to cover it tonight, right? Am I right?
I did say you're the hardest working man, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say you're the hardest man. I meant to say
hardest
you're the
working, yes.
Hardest working man. Okay.
Too much alcohol.
Too much national security.
Exactly. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. Holy cow, we got a bunch of great super chats in. I want to go ahead and thank our audience for helping fund our show. Yeah, we're a fan-funded program, and I want to thank everybody for throwing some money our way. Let's just go ahead and bring this up, shall we? On the big screen, let's go ahead and find it. First, I want to thank reverse order. Let's say I thought form for starting off the super chats tonight, followed by Firefly. Daryl is here. Well, Daryl, thank you very much for sharing this. Also, we had coming in from Banana Booey. Thank you very much, sir. Next to Flavio, all the way from Brazil. Big super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Anne Marie, Australian, $14.99. Thank you very much. J-Cat Meow. There we got another one. There, $4.99. So thankful. Kane Northrup, $3. Channel support from the bottom to the heart of the heart. King, thank you, my friend. Next one coming from Megan Betts, $5. And nothing. Kyle, thank you very much. $20. How about that? What a great show. What a great opportunity to hang out with friends. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight,
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. See you soon, everybody. Y'all come back now. Here. Take care. Thanks for